Good morning, students. As you know that we have already completed the explanation of the chapter. We saw the animation also, and I hope that you understood the explanation of the chapter. If you have doubt or something, then you can inform me. I will re-explain this chapter again. Today I'll be giving you the fill in the blanks. Match the following. State whether the following statements are true or false. Answer the following questions in brief. Answer the questions in detail. The topic of the chapter for this is chapter 4 from the geography part, and our topic of the chapter is globes and the maps. So on your screen you can see that the fill in the blanks. Okay, I'll do it large. Okay, now you can see on the screen is the fill in the blanks. I'll make it large a little bit. First one is that globe is the most accurate representation of the earth. Okay, the next what we can see is that the art of making maps is called cartography. The art of making maps is called cartography. Okay, then next we can see here is that the sketch is not drawn to a scale. A sketch is not drawn to a scale, SCALE, scale. I'm saying it very slowly to you. You can write also. Sketch, SKETCH, sketch is an informal guide to help someone find a direction. Okay, it is an informal guide to help someone to find a direction. The first atlas was published by Marketer. The first atlas was published by Marketer. Match column A with column B. Okay, then we can see here is that globe. Okay, it will be E number, three-dimensional representation of the earth. The globe means the three-dimensional representation of the earth. Let me draw is that you can see here globe is the three-dimensional representation of the earth. Then C number, map will be C number, flat representation of the earth. Okay, then cartography will be the D number, art of making maps. Okay, then title will be indicates the purpose of a map. Okay, sketch will be okay, then you can see is the rough drawing of an area. Then next we can see is that state whether the following statements are true or false. Globes are usually useful to study the revolution. False. Okay, it is not about to study the revolution. It is the just the concept of the art it is giving out. Maps are not drawn to a scale. No, it is drawn to a scale. For this reason, we can find the accurate location. Okay. Then next we see conventional symbols are accepted internationally. That is true. Okay, it has accepted the international. Some symbols are there like the road symbols. Okay, then also the zebra crossing symbols. Okay, some you can see the by turning is there. Then also you can understand the sharp turn will be there. Okay, so we can understand by this. Conventional, I told you about the conventional symbols. Then next we will go is that number 4, a plan displays a small area in a great detail. True. Architectures, okay, use this one for making the building plan, construction plan, okay. The next, there are 6 intermediate directions. That is false. Then next, on your screen, you can see here is that question answers. What are the disadvantages of globes? Okay, there are certain disadvantages of globes. Number 1, A is that it does not provide detailed information about the physical features, location of a small town, etc. It is bulky and inconvenient to carry. By the globe, we cannot know the detail. Okay, we cannot do the detailed study. We cannot do the detailed study here. Also, it is very heavy into use. Okay, It is very also heavy to use also. Okay, it is which is not useful to carry also. The next, how are the maps useful to us? The maps provide detailed information about the small and big areas. About the small and the big areas, we can find the detailed information. Okay, water bodies also we can find. Landforms and other features of the art we can find. It is also very convenient to carry, okay, and can be folded up or rolled up, okay, which is very easy to carry and you can carry anywhere if you want. Understood? Name all the components of a map. What are the components of a map? The essential components of a maps are as follows: titles, then scale, direction, and conventional symbols are the essential components of the maps. Okay. So next, why is a book of map is called atlas? The cover page of the atlas carried the picture of the Greek mythological giant named Atlas holding the earth. That is how the book of maps came to be known as an atlas. How is the title given map helpful? On a map helpful. You can see here, every map is drawn for a purpose. Each and every map has got different purposes. The title of a map indicates its purpose. It tells us what kind of information is being provided in a map. For example, a map showing the physical features of India may be titled as a physical feature of India. Okay, then what is the north line on a map? Okay, next, what is the north line on a map? Most of the map have a line with a draw and an arrow and the letter and printed on the upper hand corner. It is called the north line since the letter and denotes the north direction and the arrows pointed towards the geographical north. However, in some maps, the north line is not given. In such maps, consider the top map to be north. Once the north direction is identified, it is easier to identify the rest of the direction. Okay, next, who is there? What are the conventional symbols? Draw any 5 conventional symbols. You can see here is that the symbols that are used on a map to represent some features are called the internationally accepted are called conventional symbols. There are international boundary, you can see the dot dot dot. The state boundary is the dash with the dot dash dot is there. Also we can see the direct boundary is that like big dash is there. Okay. Then next we will see the district boundary. Okay. Railway line we can see here is that we can understand by looking this one railway line. Okay. Post offices we can see PO. Okay. PO. Then next we came on E number, that is answer the questions in the detail. What are the large scale maps and the small scale maps? All the maps are not of the same scale. For example, map A can be have a scale of 1 centimeter is equal to 100 kilometer, while map B can have a scale of 1 centimeter of is equal to 500 kilometer. Okay, in a map B, 1 centimeter represents 500 kilometers of the ground distance. In such a map, detailed features cannot be shown. Maps like this are called the small scale maps. In the map A, 1 centimeter represents only 100 kilometers. Many more features can be shown on such maps. Such maps are called what? Large scale map. The next, into how many types can maps be identified? Maps can be classified as physical, political, and the thematic maps you can write there, okay? The next, physical maps if we show, tell us, then physical maps show the features and the landforms such as mountain, plains, desert, plateaus, river, forest, and the water bodies. The next, thematic maps gives the specific information to a place. Thematic maps may show rainfall, industries, roads, railways, mining, population, agriculture, etc. Next, okay, what are the components essential for a map? What are the components essential for a map? So the components are essential for a map as they make the more accurate and our study meaningful. Okay, what is in scale? Explain with an example. We cannot show places on maps in their actual sizes. Okay, We cannot show because the places are very huge also, while the maps are very small in size. Therefore we use a scale, okay, which is the ratio between the distance on the map and the actual distance on the earth surface. For example, you can say is that if the 50 kilometer on the map is shown by 1 centimeter, then the scale of the map will be 1 centimeter is equal to 50 kilometer. Name the three ways in which the scale is represented. Explain any one. Okay, you have to explain any one. Then a scale is represented in the following ways: by the verbal statement, by a frictional or the ratio scale, by the graphic or the linear scale. By verbal statement, if you can say that in a verbal statement, the scale is given in the words. For example, 1 centimeter is equal to 500 kilometer or 1 centimeter is equal to 500 kilometer. Is that this means that 1 centimeter on the map represents the 500 kilometers on the ground. Okay, you can see some of your this question number 6 are also there. Then 7, which is a HOTS question. Okay, which is a HOTS question. So students, I have given this HOTS question to you. Okay, these are not much important, but still than that it is there in book. I have solved for the knowledge, but in exam it won't come. Okay, it won't come in exam. Number 6 and 7 question it will not come in exam, but still I have solved this for your need. Okay, some of me you think that I need the answer, so for this reason for you I have solved the answer. You can see here is that some of your classmates wants to visit your house. Okay, you need to guide them the way to your house. In the case, what would you draw a sketch of them? I would draw a sketch, and because the sketch is a rough drawing of an area, while plan is the detailed and accurate information. Okay, in a map X, 1 centimeter represents 10 kilometer of the ground distance, and in map Y, 1 centimeter represents 100 kilometer of a ground distance. Identify each of them as a small scale or a large scale maps. In this map X, 1 centimeter represents only 10 kilometer. Therefore, many more features can be shown on this map. Hence, it is a large scale map, while map Y is a small scale map. So, students, you can understand by this. Okay, I have already read the question answers. I will take in the top. You can write that from here. You can see here. Then start writing. Okay, now start writing. I hope that you are writing there. I can see here. So students, I'm going to end the video here. I hope that you understood the this question answers, you understood the explanation also. So next day we will start with the chapter 5. Okay, we will start with chapter 5 with the next day. So till then, take care. Thank you. Bye bye everyone.